Hello everybody, Shadow Ninja here. Welcome back to Rage Quit. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different on this channel today, and that is going to be the future of Assassin's Creed as a whole franchise. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, we don't know for sure, but stay tuned after this. Assassin's Creed is one of my most favorite video game franchises of all time. Back in the day, my first Assassin's Creed video game, believe it or not, was indeed Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I instantly fell in love with the franchise. I thought it was innovative, I thought it was a cool idea, the whole Matrix meets video game type aspect was really fun, and I just wanted more and more. So I went back and I played the older games, and then I definitely played the newer games such as Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, Odyssey, Unity, Syndicate, and of course Origins. Origins was probably one of my favorites by far right now. And it's just got me thinking, ever since the For Honor update with the Assassin's Creed stuff, what's going to happen to Assassin's Creed after Odyssey's content is all dead and gone? I mean, they're making content now for the DLC for Odyssey. That's really cool and everything like that. I'm personally not going to buy it. I'm already done with Odyssey. I've already experienced and had my fun with the game. But what's going to happen to the franchise? Now, one of two things can happen, and I've been, kind of speculating and doing my own little ideas and stuff like that as far as this game. I've looked up videos about what's going to happen after Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where they're going to go from here. Is Ubisoft going to take a massive break again and work on their next project, which is probably going to be a more innovative title for Assassin's Creed? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think. What I don't think is going to happen is another movie. Now, the first Assassin's Creed movie was kind of like Ubisoft's big break. It was like, hey guys, we know we've been kind of messing up on these last couple of games, such as Unity, and Syndicate wasn't really that great either. And they were just kind of like, yeah, you know what, guys, we're just going to take maybe a year or two break, and we're just going to say, here's your movie, and this is just going to tide you off until we make a better game. And they gave us a movie. I'm not sure if it was Ubisoft that gave us a movie, but Ubisoft had to be like, hey, you can use the Assassin's Creed name and the characters and all that stuff for your movie. And let's just say the movie wasn't that great. It was very mediocre. All the fans went into the movie thinking that it was just going to be this great movie, but really, when you have a video game to movie adaptation, we should probably know as fans by now that it's never going to really work out. I don't think I've ever really seen a video game to movie adaptation of a franchise that was good. But hey, I mean, they tried. And the Assassin's Creed from the movie is canon. If you go in Origins and you see like the little notes you can read in the outside of the Animus and stuff like that, it does tell about the incident at the Animus facility where the assassins broke out of the facility, destroyed the Animus tech, and lived their lives out as assassins in the out of Animus world that Assassin's Creed has created. And yeah, so I don't think that they're going to make a movie anytime soon, and if they do, it'll only be because the people who are making the movie are so desperate for money and to milk the franchise, and I don't really think us as fans are going to go and see a second Assassin's Creed movie. It's just unnecessary, it's irrelevant, and to be honest, Assassin's Creed should just stay in its video game form. That's where it can tell the most stories, because you don't have to wait every 5 years for a movie that's just 2 hours long, when you can wait every year and a half for a game that you can play for 12, 20, 25, 30, 40, 60 hours, like I have played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, let's move on to the game aspect. We all know that Assassin's Creed is now very, very, very different from what it started off as. It started off in Assassin's Creed 1. It was just this very linear, go in, you have to do what you got to do as an assassin, and tell a story about the main character and the people that the main character is affiliated with, such as Altair. Altair was in the medieval times with the Knights and the Templars and everything like that, and it was really cool to see how an assassin brotherhood, like almost like a ninja clan, but not really, a group of members who would just band together, they would fulfill contracts, and they would try to protect their home from anybody who would try to corrupt anybody, basically. And mystical objects were implemented into the game to kind of give it that more mysterious and magical approach, also kind of biblical in a sense, kind of. And now we look at the most recent game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is nothing like the other games. I think the main similarities that it has to the other game is probably the combat and the stealth system, to be honest. There's no hidden blades in Assassin's Creed Odyssey that you can use that I know of. And there's also like a lot of RPG elements. You can have different dialogue options that alter your relationships with different characters. There are different choices you can make in the world that will affect the world around you and the campaign. And it's just a really good difference. It's a really good separation from the Assassin's Creed that we know, and now it is giving us an Assassin's Creed that we don't know. An Assassin's Creed that doesn't have to revolve all around the Assassins, all around the Creed, all around the Templars. All I'm trying to say is that Assassin's Creed is very different from what it was back in the day, and I think it's for the better. If you have the same games or the same gameplay aspect every single game, it's going to get boring, and believe me, the first half of the Assassin's Creed franchise, from Altair to Ezio, to Connor, to Edward, was kind of the same, the same thing. Go kill this guy, go follow this guy, go kill this guy again, go do this naval battle. Like, it was the same thing over and over again, and I think it is a really good separation from what Assassin's Creed was to how it is now. Now we're going to go into what I do think is going to happen. There have been many, many speculation videos out there about what a potential Assassin's Creed game could entail. I know in Assassin's Creed, either Unity or Syndicate, you were able to go into like an alternate campaign where you got to play as a character in World War II. Now, are they going to finish that story? Maybe, possibly. But what I would really, really want, now this is kind of like straying away from what I think is going to happen to what I want to happen. Many leaks have been stated. You can't really take too much credibility. You can't really have too much credibility with leaks because they are only leaks. And I think their next game is going to happen in 2020, their next Assassin's Creed game. I know some people were talking about Vikings. Some people were talking about feudal Japan. What I really want to happen is let's just finally give us that feudal Japan with, ninjas and samurai. And I know Ubisoft really likes the medieval times. I mean, ever since they made For Honor, I think they're really, really, really buckling down. They're like, hey, this old stuff works. Like knights, Vikings, samurai, all this old medieval times, ancient civilization stuff. This works. People like this. So let's just implement it into the game. I mean, you have, in For Honor, there's a knight character called Centurion. And all of a sudden, bam, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's about a Greek centurion, almost like character, going about his business. And there's a lot of influence from the centurion from For Honor to the Mythios in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is really cool. I know some people were also talking about the Roman Empire. I don't know, you play as, I heard leaks about you playing as Aya and Bayek's son, protege, something like that. You were the son of Bayek and Aya, and you're growing up in Rome as a Roman soldier, I guess, and then you slowly start to realize who you are. You're an assassin of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and you start slowly disconnecting yourself away from the Roman Empire and more towards the Assassin's Creed, which would be okay. I guess it's already kind of been done with the whole pirate thing in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You were a pirate, and then all of a sudden you found out that you had this this calling to the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then you start, disconnecting yourself away from the pirate stuff, more towards the assassin, but you're still kind of like in the middle. And that's also kind of what happened in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You find out you're this Spartan warrior, and you start fighting for Sparta or Athens or whatever you choose or whatever. But we also have to go to the last thing that I just kind of barely brushed over. The Vikings. Now, I've been thinking about the Vikings a lot with Assassin's Creed, and I'm thinking, are they going to do it? I mean, since they're having a lot of mythological elements, in Odyssey, you could fight you could fight Medusa, and in Origins, you could fight Anubis in Assassin's Creed Origins. Maybe in the Assassin's Creed Viking game, you could wield Thor's hammer, you could fight mystical monsters, kind of like in God of War, they had like the whole Norse mythology aspect in in God of War, so you could bring that into Assassin's Creed and kind of capitalize on that, because people love God of War, and it's kind of the same concept. So if you use Norse mythology and Viking mythology and all that stuff, and mythological creatures and mythological weapons, as you're doing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Origins, and some of the other AC games that have like mythical monsters in them and stuff like that, you could definitely capitalize on it, and people would like it a lot, because people who are looking for a God of War 2 who haven't really got it yet can now pick up this new, oh my god, Assassin's Creed Vikings. Like, I'm not sure if it would be called Assassin's Creed Vikings. That would just kind of be a lame name for a new AC game, but I'm just going to call it Assassin's Creed Vikings for now. Assassin's Creed Vikings also has a lot of naval opportunity, like naval battles and stuff like that. There's a lot of conquering, so you could go from region to region and conquer it. Instead of like going up and synchronizing a whole continent, you can go and just take it over. And maybe on the side, like, you could still synchronize it if you want the little collectibles. They could pop up on screen and stuff like that, like little hidden collectibles, because you need the Assassin's Creed synchronization. It's in every game. But let's kind of go back to feudal Japan for a second, because I think that is probably the most interesting topic out of everything, because, as I said before, there are mythical creatures in Japanese mythology, feudal Japan. There's also a lot of naval warfare and stuff like that. That would be a really, really good way of bringing in more fans and stuff like that, and being like, yo, like, hey, you like samurai? You like ninjas? Well, guess what? We have this new ninja game called Assassin's Creed Feudal Japan, where you can be a literal ninja in the Assassin's Creed, jump off of rooftops, kill foot soldiers and shit like that, kill Bushido foot soldiers, and assassinate the emperor of Japan. How awesome would that be? And on the side, you could fight dragons, you could fight other mythical monsters in Japanese lore, and maybe the whole story could be like told, like, instead of cutscenes, it could be like pages of an old Japanese book with all these illustrated and really cool designed characters and stuff like that. Maybe just like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that could happen in an Assassin's Creed game. There's a lot of content. I don't think Assassin's Creed will ever run out of content as long as there is human history that they haven't pulled from yet. I mean, they've already done the Knight era with Altair. They did the Renaissance with Ezio. They did the Revolutionary War with Connor. The Pirate Age near the Revolutionary Age with Edward. They did the French Revolution with Unity. They did Paris in France with Syndicate, and they did Egypt with Origins, and they did Greek mythology with Odyssey. Now, what is next? Well, I guess only time can really tell. I can talk forever about the unlimited possibilities of what Assassin's Creed can be, but I've already told you what I think. I think, number one, they will not make another movie. No. If they make another movie, that will hurt the franchise even more, because the first movie was a last straw. It was kind of like, okay, guys, this is our last fight to give you guys what you want before we go into hiding for 2 years and make a really, really good game so that we can give the game to you and give you guys what you really, really deserve as consumers. That didn't work out, so they're not going to do it a second time. And number two, like I said before, they could either do those three things. Now, those three things that I mentioned before, Vikings, feudal Japan, and you playing as Aya and Bayek's son or daughter in Rome, that's all completely up to speculation. I saw a video where someone was actually sitting there and talking about the same thing that I'm talking about right now, saying which is more likable or more likely to be in a game. But if I have to go on anything, I would have to say the Norse mythology is probably the next game that they're going to have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Japanese lore, and I love the feudal Japan, stuff like that. You know, you being an actual ninja instead of just this hooded assassin that doesn't really fit in, and you could just kind of, you know, have ninja powers and ninja abilities, ninja weapons. You could assassinate the Emperor of Japan. You could have naval battles and stuff like that. But I think Norse mythology is probably a little more interesting in the fact that it's got mythological creatures, and if they're going on the same route that they are right now with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they could definitely do a Viking themed where you're just this Viking that's just trying to find his way around the world, his or her way around the world, and you know, make your own crew, you make your own clan, and you go and you conquer and you do all these things, kind of like how Assassin's Creed Odyssey did. And as I said before, with the mythological creatures and stuff like that, and the mythological weapons, wielding Thor's hammer. I think that's what I think personally is going to happen with Assassin's Creed. No movie, and next game is going to be Norse mythology. And if it isn't, then I guess that's my bad. I can't really speculate too much because we don't have any evidence or any proof of anything happening. As I said, these things that just pop up, this feudal Japan, Vikings, and Roman Empire era, they're just speculations. They're just things that could happen. But that's all I have for you guys today. I told you what my two predictions were. No movie and probably a Viking game. But anyways, guys, if you agreed with anything that I said in this video, make sure you give me a like. And if you did not agree with anything, make sure you voice your opinion down in the comments, because all of your opinions matter and all your voices are heard. And I listen to every single one of you when you give me a suggestion. But as I said, thank you again. And as always, I will see you on the next one.